Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's been so long. We are well into now 2020, so it's the beginning of a new year. The celebrations are now basically over, and I'm going to be going back to work tomorrow for an in-service day. So I was looking through some of my old posts, some of my old videos. I'm really thinking, what would be important to you guys? I really need to know sort of what you want to learn, what you want to know about. So please leave some comments down below so that I can sort of make more videos. One thing I would say is making these videos, certainly this year has been more of a challenge than last year in my placement year. Last year, it's not that I had that I had more time. It's almost like more space is taken up in my brain because this year, because not only am I working this full-time job, I'm also trying to go through this amazingly steep learning curve, and I'm sure you'll appreciate that. You just get into overwhelm, really. That, along with running a house with 3 kids, the change in dynamics of childcare, trying to be in certain places at certain times, has also proved, loads of challenges. But regardless of that, we're here now, and we've just went through our Christmas break. Let me tell you, it's nowhere near long enough. One of the reasons for that is because I'm actually preparing for my job application. So for those of you that don't know, once you go through your your 4-year B.Ed or your PGDE, then you automatically get a 1-year placement of probation. And basically this is a guaranteed job. Which is incredible. Now this is in Scotland. I'm sure that England is different. However, after this, then we have to actually apply to have a job within our county, within a few counties, whatever it is. So Fife, which is where I am, have decided that their job applications are to be in between the 6th and the 13th of January, which basically is from tomorrow to the 13th. So guess what I've been doing over the Christmas period? They do say, relax, chill out, I hope you have a great time. And I felt like about 3 or 4 days before finishing up, I felt like, okay, I feel like I've got a handle on these kind of things. I feel like maybe I can go home at 5:30 instead of 6, and not do any work later that night, and maybe just work like half a day on the weekend rather than the full weekend. And I really felt like I was getting to grips. And then there was this bombshell that actually we have to do our applications as well, and it's just taking it to another level. So that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm thankful to say I've done most of it. I've only got like a couple of tweaks here and there. My management are hugely supportive in this, so I'm very, very fortunate, and I know how fortunate I am because it's not always the case. Certainly from stories that I've heard, that management will always have your back. But I know from this experience that they absolutely do. So I'm very, very lucky that way. The other thing that you have during your probation year is you have a mentor. I think I've mentioned that before. You will have supporter meetings every week in which your mentor should be supporting you. This isn't for them to then direct you and tell you what to do. It's really for you to use them as a sounding board. How you utilise that 50-minute slot every week is it's really poignant. And certainly over the last sort of few weeks, a few months maybe, I've really found it as a good sounding board. What about if I try this? How could I develop this? Do you know any further resources I could get whatever it is from? And that has helped immensely. It does help that my mentor, again, is very supportive and has always tried to help me. So it's been a bit of a whirlwind. We've had parents' evening. Parents' evening can be daunting, challenging, but really once you've got over the first one or two parents, you start to get into your flow. You really do know the children, and bear in mind that you're all looking towards the same goal. So regardless if if a parent is very anxious, very upset about X, Y, and Z, bear in mind that actually you're both trying to get the same goal. Sometimes it can feel like you're on two opposing sides, but you're trying to do the very best you can for the child. And the other thing is that parents can be a key insight as to how to help that child even more, because they see a very different side to what you see in the classroom as well, especially when you're trying to manage between 33 pupils. Then it can be one of these key moments, and actually creating that relationship with parents and building on it, maintaining it, is one of the key things that you can do over this year. So this seems to be like a whirlwind of a video, because I'm trying to almost cram everything in, but realistically I'm just trying to give you a feel as to how I'm feeling right now, going into my final sort of chapter, my final 2 terms, which is crazy. This year will go super fast, and people say yeah, and you will believe them. You're like, I know it will go really, really fast, but actually I can't believe I'm here. I'm actually getting so emotional because I know how quickly these next 2 terms are, although I've heard that term 3 is a killer because it lasts from January to April. So literally you've got like an 11-week term with little to no break. We have 2 days in February that we will have, look at me, getting all blotchy. We have 2 days in February in which we have a short break. The 3rd day is an in-service day. So I've heard it's an absolute killer, but it's also a time where you can really kind of sink your teeth into things. These last 2 terms, I felt like the first term you were just like getting to know everybody, and then it was almost over. October holidays came round really, really quickly, and then after that I was actually doing a nativity, so a lot of time was actually taken up by that. So trying to cram in all the academic side was a real challenge. They felt it, I felt it, and knowing that you're not going to get it right every time, but as like I say, you can only do your very best, and you can only try your hardest. I think in this job, as a probationer, you're lucky because you get a lot more observations than any other teacher. I think other teachers maybe get about 4, maybe two a year, or maybe 4. I don't know. I guess I'll find out next year. But I get basically up to 10, and because I'm in an open plan classroom, basically I have management coming in and out of my room all the time, which means that I get very comfortable with having observations, and I get really good feedback as well. So that is amazing, and that's exactly how I'm taking this opportunity, that with each observation, it's not something to be really concerned about or really scared of. It's actually an opportunity to consistently get feedback and make your game even better. Yeah, so we've had loads of observations, loads of, nativities and Halloween and, lots of these different things going on, lots of fun. I had my first school trip. That was fun. It was, it was really good, but to have that responsibility, it's really a very, very different experience from being a student, because even though, you can sort of take the responsibility, ultimately you don't have the full responsibility, but it was like on my shoulders. So yeah, it's that can be quite nerve-wracking, but I'm looking forward to making more trips out next year, and having an exciting time. So yeah, that's a quick roundup of what's been happening over term 1 and 2, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please let me know, how can I help, how can I be of service to you more. I know that I haven't been in the picture, but it's just literally because there's been so much going on. So I'm going to be popping up videos just whenever I can, and hopefully the feedback that I get from you guys will be helpful for me to make more videos and to really pinpoint those areas that you need help in. In the meantime, don't forget to be the best you can be. Love you guys. Bye.